Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Celia Cruz Bronx High School of Music Cantabile Quartet. Thank you, Jim. And now, as they depart, we begin the 63rd anniversary award celebration reception for the Bronx High School Valedictorians. I got to keep twisting around it, just bear with me. And don't worry about that bird, this is the zoo. We're going to have John Calvelli. Okay, the Bronx Zoo yet. So why don't I introduce, my name is Doc Permelin. I'm the CEO of the Bronx Historical Society. What I'd like to do now is introduce you to the chair of this committee, Ms. Gil Walton.
Welcome everybody to the 63rd Annual Valedictorian Programs Award. Now before we get started, I'd like for all of the awardees to please stand. All the valedictorians, please stand. Recognize your achievement. In addition to that, can all of the parents and close friends and family members also stay? Everybody recognizes that you don't achieve this level of success without the love, support, and yes, sacrifice of people around you that are going to constantly push you to that point. So, thank all of you for being here. Now, I was reminded of a story that is related to this event, and I want to just tell you about it. There's a guy named John in a small town, and while he was walking, wasn't paying attention, and he fell into a hole, a foxhole, if you will. This wasn't an average, everyday foxhole. This was the mother of all foxholes. This thing was like 10 feet deep. And he jumped around a little bit trying to get out, couldn't get out. He tried to scale the walls, to no avail. People actually passed by. Most of them would ignore him. Some people tried to help him, but they couldn't. Finally, desperation looked like it was set. Am I going to die in this foxhole? Oh my God. Suddenly a man appeared, and we'll call him Max. And without hesitation, Max looked down at John in the foxhole, and without hesitation jumped down here. Now this totally blew John's mind. I said, oh my God, why did you jump down here? Now there's two of us in this desperate situation. And Max said to John, don't worry, it's okay. I've been here before, and I know the way out. Now, I know all the valedictorians can probably say to themselves, I know how to solve that problem. I know how to get that guy out. But that's not really my point. My point about Max is that he had the courage and the commitment to jump down into the hole. He also had the experience, I've been here before, and the knowledge, I know the way out, to actually be an asset to John. So but when I look at it and I see you guys are like our Maxes. You are the thinkers. You are the problem solvers. You are the guys that are going to be leaders in the future. And so that's why I bring up that point. Now, I wonder as you go forward, how many algorithms are you guys going to write? How many theories are you going to come up with? How many books will you author? How many students, not yet born, will you inspire? How many people are going to want to have you in their foxhole? I suspect the answer to all those questions are many. Today we honor you for your achievements, but as you go on to the next level and beyond, I just want you to know the Bronx will be watching, looking after you, nurturing you. Here at the Bronx County Historical Society, we collect data, we preserve historical documents, we do all of that stuff. And right now, you guys may just be a small footnote in that history, but I'm sure when it's all said and done, we're going to be writing a lot of catalogs. So, as we go forward, I just want to say, the society itself, in case you didn't know, or you've never heard of us before, has extensive educational outreach program. We lecture on Bronx history, school to schools, libraries, senior citizen homes, community centers. We give historic walking tours all the time. You can look at it and find anything about our operations on our website. So without further ado, let me say thank you again all for coming, and God bless you. And like I said, we'll be watching.
Thank you, Bill. And now I'd like to introduce our newest Assemblywoman, Nathalia Fernandez. So if you come up and say a couple of words.
Thank you, Doctor. Good afternoon, everyone, parents and students and our future scholars and leaders. I'm here to give congratulations to you. It is indeed an honor to be here to do that for you and to you, and to wish you the best. It is certainly nothing easy to have been valedictorian, and it is valedictorian, and as the person before me said, you are a spot in history, because for this year in your high school, you were number one. So congratulations to everyone. I am excited too to see what your future holds and what you'll do. And I expect nothing less greatness. So congrats and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Assembly. Now we have Honorable Andrew King, I almost said Andrew, New York City Council.
Doctor, this is the guy y'all gonna be in the foxhole with, because you don't always count him, right? Give it up for Doc, all right? Good job. Well, good afternoon, family. How's everyone today? Good. Come on now, this is a celebration. How you feeling? You just give it that valedictorian. How you feeling today? Good. Now, as Mike and I always say, we run strong up in here. We run strong. We're gonna get even stronger because of all the bright minds that you sisters, brothers who are going to lead the next generation, making sure that whatever that next formula is that's going to cure my hip that I can't get right, whatever that next formula you got that's going to help you breathe a little better, whatever that formula that you have that's going to make our children that much more pay attention in the classroom, I want to thank you in advance. I'll be glad to get in the foxhole with each and every one of you, because you've proven to us all that you got a commitment to learn. Not many students have that commitment. They walk into the classroom, they spend a lot of time doing a lot of other stuff. But you took ownership of your job. See, your job under the age of 18, when you walk into a school building, is to do nothing but to learn. It's not to go in there and play games, not go there and crack jokes all day long, it's not to do anything else, because you know your parents will take care of the Con Ed. Your parents taking care of the rent. Your job is to go in there and listen. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because I know there's hope for tomorrow. Because see, me and my colleagues in government, you know, it's come to time that we get out of these seats and we want to go fishing, we want to relax, we want to make sure the world's okay. So for all the parents that are in, it's not even just about the parents. If you have your sister, I've seen a couple of sisters, younger sisters, younger brothers that are in here, you are totally an inspiration for your older brother or your older sister because they had the pressure of getting it right because if they didn't get it right, you would pick up because, well, big sister didn't do it, so why I have to do it? See, big sister, thank you. Big brother, thank you. Little sister, thank you for inspiring your big sister to get it right because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be celebrating another day. Congratulations to all of you valedictorians. We're looking forward to tackle the world, change the world, and save the world. God bless.
Move around a little bit in the program if we can. I'd like to also introduce to you our educators. You see on those screens that we have above. These are some of our very important events and programs that we do. And people involved there are here today. Our education director, Angel Hernandez, one of Angel's coming. And Miss Vivian, where's Vivian? Well, so there she is. Okay.
John McNamara was one of the original members of the Bronx County Historical Society and served as its corresponding secretary for many decades. He was a prolific author of articles and books about the history of the borough. That is why the Society's Board of Trustees named this award after him. The person who was the recipient of the McNamara Trustee Award this year was born and raised in the Bronx to ethnic Albanian immigrant parents. He graduated from St. Raymond's High School in the Bronx and received a bachelor's degree from St. John's University. Today he resides in the Pelham Parkway section with his wife, a public school nurse, and is the father of 2 teenage sons. He founded the NP Realty Group, a brokerage and property management company. Later, he served as a commissioner on the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission. Filled with passion to give back to the Bronx and its diverse communities, in 2012, he was elected to the New York State Assembly to represent his neighbors, the northeastern Bronx. As an assemblyman, he and his colleagues expanded funding for public schools to its historic highest levels. He also obtained more resources for the 49th precinct and sponsored laws to freeze rents to keep tenants in their homes. In 2017, our John McNamara Trustee Award recipient was elected to the New York City Council, becoming the first Albanian American ever to serve in that body. For these reasons, the Bronx County Historical Society is proud to give its 2018 John McNamara Trustees Award to the Honorable Mark Jokai.
Thank you for that great introduction, Angel. I almost didn't know you were talking about me for a moment. I want to thank Dr. Hermelin for his passion and commitment not only to the Bronx Historical Society, but to the borough of the Bronx. Much can be said about this borough. Much can be forgotten about this great borough, if not for this historical society. It's only fitting that such an esteemed organization that truly fights to not only preserve the history and the cultural advantages and aspects of this borough, but promotes the best of the best. And that's why it's so fitting that this organization promote the best of our young men and women, those of you, the valedictorians of 2018. Not enough can be said about the sacrifices that these young men and women have made to achieve not only the highest rankings in their schools, and we know that the credit goes to their families and their siblings and extended friends, but also the educators. Because like yourselves, I've come across so many people, classmates, that have dropped out. But I can assure you that I can remember almost every teacher's name from first grade on. And that's because they're the ones that inspire, they're the ones that drive, they're the ones that help promote us to excel to where we have achieved. I do want to end it off with, I am excited about this borough. I'm excited about the young men and women that are shining and making a difference. And it's the few that are here today that are going to carry the torch much further than any of us have ever dreamed of. So I encourage you all to continue to dream big, because all things are possible, and because of your commitment, we know that this borough will be left in good hands. God bless you all. Thank you for this great honor. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Councilman. And now I'd like to introduce Professor Lloyd Otan. How many people here know that there is a borough historian? Well, I see one. Come on, tell me more than one. Well, he exists, and he's in the flesh. He's coming. Come on out.
Thank you. I'm saying to people that we got to here today in a rather historic spot. This was part of the original plans of Bronx Zoo. And the early part of the 20th century, before the big cast were actually put in here, a meeting occurred in this particular space. And that was the American Bison Society, which started the movement towards the preservation of the American buffalo bison. So that today, if you go out west, all the American buffalo that you see there are descended from the Bronx buffalo. So if you go to places like Yellowstone National Park and somebody, and a buffalo comes over to you and speaks to you in a Bronx accent, you'll know why. I'm here to present the award for the Bronx County Historical Society's Educator of the Year. A great educator not only imparts basic knowledge, but also expands the boundaries of knowledge. Such a person the Bronx County Historical Society honors today as its Educator of the Year. Our Educator of the Year received her Bachelor of Science in Psychology from State University in New York and Buffalo, her Master's of Education from Fordham University, and her Master's of Administration and Leadership from City College. She began teaching 5th grade at PS 44 in the Bronx, then moved to teach 3rd and 5th grades at the Senator Abraham Bernstein School, PS 108. Since 2014, she has taught 7th grade and is the social studies head at the One World Middle School in Edenwood. Her accomplishments in all these positions are distinguished. She has intervened with low-performing students that resulted in their progress from the 3rd to the 4th grades. She also improved the scores of students with disabilities that resulted in 90% of student progress in both English and mathematics. She developed plans for reading and writing workshops involving hands-on projects, and she presented parents-student workshops to assist parents with Common Core strategies and the state mathematics examination. Among other things, The recipient of this year's Educator of the Year Award, who resides in Parkchester in the Bronx, also is currently the supervisor of young historians in our school. Those students explore the complexities of history, make connections, and consider how they can make a difference in their own community. She engages them with history and historical sites. She even has them work with the Bronx County Historical Society to create exhibitions based on their own community. For her commitment and her accomplishments, the Bronx County Historical Society names its Educator of the Year, Miriam Isabel Bustos.
Hello. I just would like to thank everyone, all of my supporters here. I would not be here if it was not for my coworkers, for Ms. Quinn, which has been a great friend to me and a great boss, for my family that has supported me and shared me with my work family. So thank you.
City Council, my Councilmember John, now you have to leave, but we want to make sure you get this beautiful award for your certificate of recognition by helping us in the borough of the Bronx, and educating and growing the students and making sure that the next generation have better opportunities. Congratulations.
Getting stuck.
We won't talk about that. Now, I'd like to introduce, before we do that, we should also make note, in your program, you'll see all the organizations and people that have made this event possible for this year. Whether it's Bronx Care Health System, Fordham Associates, Fordham University, O'Connor Institute, the Farmers Insurance Company, Jeffrey Birnbaum and Sue Lee, the James Houlihan Family Second Program, Melissa Wendt, Bernadette Meyer, East Bay Management Group, the Tim Adair CPA firm, Barbara McNamee, the principal from, which we have here, right? It's the principal, Ron Link. Are you here today? Nice to have you here. So those like that principals, and of course, presidents of colleges, which we'll talk about in a moment. McCall's Bronxwood Funeral Home, BronxNet, All Hallows Institute, the Academy of Mount St. Ursula, Mercy College, Monroe College, Cedric Ferguson, Lisa Benton, Myra Gordon, Mr. and Mrs. Robert Esnard, Roland Riopel, Sidney Hornstein, Tejedas Driving Incorporated, Ridgewood Savings Bank, and of course, the Bronx Zoo. But they like to call themselves the Wildlife Conservation Society, but to us, it's always the Bronx Zoo. We also want to make note that over on my left is Jennifer Tamaglio, who's our artist in residence this year. You get a chance a little later on, just go by and see what she's working on. All right, now let me introduce for our next award, let me introduce to you President of the Maritime College, Mr. Michael Alfonso, who's also a retired actor.
I served over half my life in the Coast Guard, and so I'm good at being told, tell me what to do and I'll do it. So Gary asked me to do two things. One, I want to talk briefly about Maritime College, and two, I'd like to hand out the Poe Award. So just briefly about Maritime College. For half of our 140 years, we've been proud to call the Bronx our home. We're located on the Bronx Peninsula, yes, underneath the Bronx Bridge. In fact, the Bronx is our first and only permanent shoreside home. Our students, we have about 1,800 students, achieve both a bachelor's degree. About 3/4 of our students earn a professional mariners credential that allow them to serve on commercial ships, anything from the tugs and barges you see in the harbor, to the ferries you see in the harbor, to large container ships. Currently, I have about half my student population are out at sea. I'm proud to say our first stop was in Puerto Rico, where 400 of my students did 3 days of service projects. And by all accounts, in the 6 communities that we served in Puerto Rico for 3 days, we completed months worth of work. More importantly, in those 6 communities, we restored a sense of hope. I'm here to tell you that people in Puerto Rico feel forgotten. And I assure you, Puerto Rico, they're not forgotten. We as a college will be adopting these communities and we'll be going back again to serve Puerto Rico some more. My students, working their tails off in Puerto Rico are currently heading over to Europe, so don't feel too sorry for them. They'll be in Mallorca, Glasgow, Scotland, Guyana, Italy, the Azores. They'll come back home here to the Bronx in August. So that's a little bit about Maritime College. So I'm here to introduce and award the Edgar Allan Poe Award. The Bronx County Historic Society bestows its Edgar Allan Poe Award on writers and artists whose work is an example of excellence. Our honoree this year received his Bachelor of Arts degree in Romance Languages from Rutgers. He then went on to Columbia University where he earned a Master of Arts in Art History and Archaeology and both a Master of Philosophy and a Doctor of Philosophy in Archaeology. He began teaching at the School of Continuing Education at New York University and went on to Columbia University. Since 1983, he's been teaching archaeology at Fordham University. As an archaeologist, he's done fieldwork in Israel, Cyprus, and Turkey. From 1985 to 2002, he has worked with the Bronx County Historical Society as a co-leader excavating the site of a colonial-era house on Fordham's Bronx campus. In addition, our Poe Award recipient has done editorial work on 2 encyclopedias, 1 scholarly journal, 4 books, and served on the editorial board of the International Geosciences Program. His own work is prolific. He is the author or co-author of 24 published articles and 19 articles in conflict-related publications. His scholarship and writing is so highly regarded that he was recruited to write 9 book reviews and comments on the published works of other archaeologists. His excavation of the Fordham campus led to the establishment of the Brick Archive that identifies the age, date, and point of origin of bricks found in archaeological sites. A forthcoming book he edited called Digging the Bronx, Recent Archaeology in the Borough, soon will be published by the Bronx Historical Society. For the excellence of his work, the Bronx County Historical Society is pleased to present its Edgar Allan Poe Award to Dr. Alan S. Gilbert.
Congratulations, valedictorians. You're going great today. Tomorrow, not so much. It's my day today, too. See? And tomorrow, not so much. One of the problems in coming last is that almost everybody says already what you wanted to say by the time you get to the podium. It's a bit of a problem. But in fact, I actually have some advice to give you. And I will take a few minutes to go over what I wrote for you. I have some advice for you, all of you valedictorians. You are all here today because I presume you are number 1 in your class. In the future, however, you may find that staying number 1 is not so easy. There will be lots of competition in your future, and there will be many people vying for that top spot. A lot of rivals. So I have some words of advice Here's the way I think you should handle it. In the future, strive not to be first. Instead, strive to be first rate. Is the difference. First rate means among the best in your field or endeavor or whatever it is you do. To be first, you have to compete with others. To be first rate, you compete with yourself. Always pushing harder to improve, to know more, to gain more skills, and to interact with others who, if they have the same motivation that you do, will provide help, instruction, and experience, all designed to make you better at what you do. And we know you're going to do something. Being first tends to isolate you. Being first rate connects you with others and helps to share collectively held information. And that's the point. So if your past performance is any indication, you're going to be tremendous. You're going to be spectacular. If you strive always to be first rate, I predict that you will never lack for close colleagues. You will have an ever-widening base of awareness about the world. And you will have many accomplishments that will make you and your family proud. So good luck with your valedictories and all the life that's yours to come.
We just want to say thank you. And that first rate, if you don't understand what that means about being first rate, you get rid of a lot of envy and jealousy when you just first start developing yourself as opposed to competing against somebody. So thank you for that message. That's something that lasts a long time. And that's why he's being awarded today. Congratulations.
All right, I think it's time to get our valedictorians up here, don't you think? So to assist us in bringing them up, I have the Ferguson family, if you would come up. Along with Councilman King, who are going to be reading from this special list. Very special. Only ours. And what we do is each of the valedictorians receives a set of our Bronx County Historical Society books. All right, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is Lisa Benson. I'm a retired elementary school teacher, teaching 30 years. I just want to say to all the valedictorians, I am so proud of you, because I probably met you when you were very young, just starting out, and I'm so happy that you have made it to the top.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Fergus, and I'm a teacher at this graduate Thursday from Brooklyn College. So, very proud of my stories. Your education, you'll be fine. Thank you.
Okay, you should start.
All right. The moment we've all been waiting for. So, from the Academy of Mount St. Ursula, Marie Lou de Jesus. Come on down. She had that happy walk. You go, girl. All right. From All Hallows Institute, Kendrick Canoe. From Josephson. From the Bronx High School for the Visual Arts, Yasmin Macho. Yeah. Congratulations. I was trying to figure it out. I said, hey.
I had a beard. I had a beard.
All right. From the Bronx School of Law, Government and Justice, Marika Newfiville. Did I spell it? I just jacked that. Newfiville. Did I say that right? Okay. Newfiville. Come on over. I got a yes over here. Come on. Huh? Oh, the F is silent, so it's Newfiville. Let's give it up for Mika Newfiville! And from the Cecilia Cruz Bronx High School of Music, Sharon Santana. From Community School for Social Justice, Naziru Abadala. The next class is working now. Yeah. From the Exodus College Preparatory Academy, Yocatis Rodriguez. And from Fannie Lou Hamer Freedom High School, Terrence Freeman. Look at this shot with this little vest going on. Check it out. Up next, we got from Fordham High School for the Arts, Leslie Abreu. We got our bronze colors on, we got our orange and blue. All right now, watch out. Coming up next, okay, let's see how I can do this one now. From Fordham Preparatory School. I was gonna get there. Maybe tomorrow. Okay. Arinsa Lisa Udo. Did I get half right? I got it right, yeah. And last but not least, it could make it simple for me, huh? Okay, from the Frederick Douglass Academy, 3, Mafusa Chowdhury. For all of you, that was a sight, there's a page 2. Okay. From Hostos Lincoln Academy of Science, Kimberly Rios Castillo. Kingsbridge International High School student, Asasatu Ba. From Pelham Preparatory Academy, Jada Lindo. From Renaissance High School, Lisbeth Nunez. The Theater Arts Production Company School, Natalie Garcia. And from the University Prep Charter High School, Stephen Colbert. gentlemen, I welcome you to the United Nations. I welcome you to congratulations to our valedictorian class of 2018 of the Boogie Down Bronx. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, your valedictorians.
So I know you're valedictorian right here. God bless you. God bless you. And I hope you all got jobs for the summer. If you don't, give us a call. We got some jobs for you all, the city council. You'll need a job.
Okay, we go back. And thank you all. And now for our final award for the evening. Something along those lines. Actually, one because you are a man.
All right.
Now that I see you, you can introduce this person after you introduce yourself.
I didn't come here to speak. I came here to meet all of you. My name is John Calvelli. I'm the Executive Vice President for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I'm your host today. You actually picked the perfect weekend to do this, because if you noticed outside, we've been celebrating the Boogie Down Bronx. Where's the councilman? There he is. And as a Bronxite, I was born 180th and Hughes. Parents were immigrants. I went to Fordham University, and now I work at the zoo. I haven't gotten far in life, it's literally like 5 blocks. But it tells you the power of this borough and the power of the institutions in this borough and what you can do if you put your mind to it. And for me, to come here and to come to this room, because this room has incredible historical significance. As many of you may know, there were 30 million bison, buffalo, in the United States. We had literally hunted them down to 21. And there's a whole long history of why that happened, but we actually brought them here to the Bronx. We bred them here at the Bronx Zoo, and then we released them back into the wild. President Teddy Roosevelt actually came to this very room to help do that. And it was the first example of the success of man having created a problem, then solving it. It was the first time that a species was brought back from the brink of extinction. And it's really a great environmental story. And there's so many issues on our planet today. But I always remember that story, and I remember this room, because I believe that we still have the power within us to make a difference. And what better people to say that in front of than the valedictorians from the Bronx? You are the future. You are the hope. So now I'm going to give an award out, which I didn't know I was doing. So I'm going to read some prepared text. Is this it? Okay. William Beller Award is going to be going to Michael Maxnabi, a well-deserving individual. William Beller was the man who donated the Valentine Burying House to the Bronx Historical Society so that it could be preserved for future generations. It's for that reason that the society named the William C. Beller Award in his honor. The recipient of the Beller Award this year was born and raised in the Bronx and graduated from the Bronx High School of Science. He went on to earn a Bachelor of Arts in Studio Art and World History from Drew University and a Master of Fine Arts from Lehman College. In 2002, our Beller honoree was named the Executive Director of BronxNet, the Public Access Television Network and Community Media Center. Under his leadership, BronxNet produced hundreds of programs that connect the Bronx to the world and that helps build the Bronx community. BronxNet trains high school and college students with hands-on media production and holds media production workshops that enable others to produce television shows. Recently, BronxNet upgraded its official studios on the Lehman College campus and is expanding to new facilities at Mercy College and at La Central in the Bronx and in the Hub. Also, our Bella recipient has personally produced programs that won Cable Ace Awards, Telly Awards, and Emmy Awards. In addition to these accomplishments, the winner of this year's Bella Award teaches courses in digital movie making and the history of cinema at Lehman College and became an advocate for health and fitness. For all these reasons and for many more, the Bronx County Historical Society presents its 2018 William C. Bell Award to Michael Max Nobby.
Grazie mille. John Carelli, Vice President of the Wildlife Conservation Society. Thank you so much for what you do for this great institution, the Wildlife Conservation Society. Thank you so much for what you do for the Bronx and for wildlife around the world, for global conservation around the world. For John Carelli. This is the important work that's done here, right here from the Bronx. And thank you, Doc Hermelin, and the Board of Directors of the Bronx County Society, and Jacqueline and Gil, Assemblywoman Fernandez, and Councilman Jonah, and Councilman King, Admiral. Get a little feedback. How's that? A little bit better?
Yeah, you good.
Friends, family, familia, it's an absolute honor to be here with you at the Wildlife Conservation Society, at the Bronx County Historical Society Valedictorian Awards. This recognition is accepted on behalf of our great BronxNet Board of Directors, our terrific staff, the students, and the public we serve. And it's important to recognize that the Bronx County Historical Society is preserving information, its heritage, its culture, its history, so that we can learn more about ourselves and discover where we're from. Because if you know where you are, you're going to achieve great things in this world. If you know where you come from, you know your roots and your heritage. I've had conversations with a living and Bronx-loving legend in the official Bronx historian, Lloyd Oltan, as well as with Angel Hernandez, about William C. Beller. And I looked into his positive impact on Bronx history and culture. And he was a pioneering researcher. He was working in electronics, he was a microscopist, he was studying this molecular world as well, and he was a botanist. He incorporated rigorous science, but was also a bit of a philosopher and a poet. So future leaders, young leaders, he was a spiritual, conscientious, and contemplative critical thinker. And with that, you can achieve great things in this world if you sort of visualize it and set great goals. I'll share some advice as Dr. Gilbert did. Every challenge has at least 7 resolutions, and if you set great goals and use patience, tenacity, and focus, and have truth on your side, you will achieve great things in this world, young people, future leaders. William C. Beller moved mountains, metaphorically, but he literally moved a house. The Valentine Varian House, he moved this historic house and donated it to the Bronx County Historical Society so that it could serve as a museum for our great city, with great exhibitions like the Women's Suffrage Celebration, the Centennial Celebration that's on exhibit right now. Young people, go see this exhibition. It's on through July. It's important. This is an important resource. This organization, the Bronx County Historical Society, and the Valentine Varian House. It is in that spirit that BronxNet TV is developing an epic documentary about the Bronx with the Bronx Historical Society. The doc will cover pre-Columbian history and the welcoming beacon and symbol of urban revitalization that the Bronx has become, with all the dynamism in between. BronxNet TV celebrates the culture, diversity, and the sharing of ideas through media in the Bronx, and we're proud of our partnership with the Bronx County Historical Society. We also are producing coverage and are doing an ongoing series called Puerto Rico Recovery and Rebuilding, and we definitely want to help tell the story of what SUNY Maritime is doing for the island. There are communities here from Puerto Rico originally that have helped build the Bronx, and BronxNet produced a documentary called Migration, the Puerto Rican Experience. We're telling the stories of the people of the Bronx together with you students. If you want internships and you want to be a part of something important, and we offer internships throughout the year, including during the summer.
The other way.
The other way?
Away from the mic.
So, valedictorians and families, congratulations on your hard work and commitment to scholarship and achievement. We celebrate our students of the Bronx. A round of applause, another round of applause for our students of the Bronx. Students, families, educators know that we've built a TV network for you with career-building, high-impact experiential learning opportunities for middle school, high school, and college students. BronxNet offers public services from what will now be 3 locations. Our network operations at Lehman College, BronxNet East at Mercy College, and the location in the South Bronx in the hub at La Central. So we are working with you, and we look forward to working with you. We're an agile partner at BronxNet Television. Congratulations to fellow honorees, Councilman Mark Jonan, educator Miriam Bustos, Myra Gordon, and Professor Alan Gilbert. We look forward to digging up great things, great information about the Bronx with you. Future leaders, young leaders, congratulations, our valedictorians. God bless you all, and keep Bronx and all cities strong. Para siempre.
So, Mr. Navi, I met you over 10 years ago. First show Perspectives. Kurt and Bert and a few others, y'all been doing remarkable work ever since, and I want to say thank you. And this certificate, I'm going to read out, so I want you to know what it says. On behalf of the New York City Council, Certificate of Recognition. Whereas a great city is only as great as those persons who give exemplary service to their communities, whereas the participation in voluntary programs, through unique personal achievement in their professional and or other endeavors, simply through a lifetime of good citizenship. As well, whereas such service, which is truly the lifeblood of the community and the city, so often goes unrecognized and unrewarded. Now, therefore, be resolved that this, as a duly elected member of the New York City Council, I recognize in this great man, a man from the Boogie Down, the man who represents the Boogie Down, Michael Navi, we have an outstanding citizen, one who is worthy of esteem in both community and the great city of New York. This day, Sunday, June 3rd, 2018, yours truly, Councilman Andy King and the entire New York City Council. Congratulations.
Mr. Valera, would you like to speak? No, you'd rather not. Well, we have Mr. Valera, Special Assistant of Speaker, New York State Assembly Speaker Carl Hasty, and please say hello. Okay, before we conclude, what we want to do now is something we do every time. We sing God Bless America. And if you would, we do have these handed out lyrics. Now, who's a big singer? Who's a big singer? You gotta come back up. We're sing God Bless America. Come on.
Just sing, man.
There you go. So let's do
God bless America. Land that
pictures. Let me say, thank you all for coming. The 2018 program has now begun.